Did you see the video I posted of Norm on Conan when where he's talking about the Carrot Top movie?
Yes, I saw, I
That
didn't see
shit
yours, but
is
I saw Tim Slappy Babs. He posted the same link,
with
and
the
I
chairman
watched
of
it.
the board. Yeah, yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
one.
I watched the same link, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I felt so bad for her because she's on there to promote a movie, and this dude is like, chairman of the board. He's like, "You got any jokes?" Conan goes, "You got any jokes about that?" He goes, "I bet they spell board Bored."
It's so good, dude.
I was like, it was funny as hell, but she was like, "Oh my god, this movie
And then you
is
haven't
gonna
seen
tank."
her. You haven't seen her in a movie since.
No, you have not. You have not. Hey, real quick, let's get it going. Let's
All
do the
right, so I'm
intro.
Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin. We right
There it
into it.
is.
So we were talking about the passing of Norm MacDonald, who passed
Yes.
2 days ago from complications of cancer. They did not reveal the type of cancer, and apparently he kept it a secret. This was not something
Yeah.
that he was sharing with
9
anyone.
years, man. 9 years.
9 years,
I mean,
man.
I
That's a
worked
good
with
battle.
him like 10 years ago. So it was like right before he got it.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
yeah, he
I
was
mean,
a cool guy.
that's a good I mean, that's a good battle, man, right? Depending on what type of
Well,
cancer it
he had a
was.
good line. He had a good joke about it or something. He's like, people say, you lose your battle to cancer. And he's like, I don't really think you lose your battle because when you die, the cancer dies too. So I call it a draw.
Nice. I like that. I like that. That's a good way to reframe it. There's another thing since we talk about cancer. I have I've seen this. First off, let me quantify this by saying I'm an energy guy, right? Like I'm an energy person. That's just what I am, man. And I figured that out at some point in my life when I realized people kind of gravitated to me. People gravitate to me in a certain way, and there's an exchange of energy, and just an exchange in a moment of time. And then those people can leave, and you feel good energetically, or people will leave, and then you feel depleted, or you feel like, gee, it's a struggle,
I
right?
don't
To
think
have that
that's
person.
everybody, Reg.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying most people won't call it energy. I'm saying it's energy,
I
right? Like I
feel
think,
this is what I
well,
feel. I'll
okay,
go
go
on.
ahead.
Well, I was gonna say
Well,
we're artists, and I think we're more sensitive to feeling that. So
okay,
you're able to feel that more if somebody brings you down or brings you up. But go on.
I have been feeling that my entire life.
Because you're an artistic little boy.
I was an artistic.
It's just a little wee Reginald.
That's true. I did. If you yelled at
You
me,
like to
or
draw. You like to draw.
I did like to draw. I was into art. I like to build and all that kind of stuff. I've always felt stuff. I could feel a lot.
Right. And that's what I feel artists need in order to do whatever art they do.
Okay. All right. That's fine. I'm not taking anything away from that. That could be absolutely 100% true. It's just that for me, I also feel like things contain energy, right? Things, words, objects, people, whatever contain energy. So the thing in regards to cancer that I always see is that whenever someone's upset about, when someone's sad about someone passing, at the end, you always see this hashtag, fuck cancer, right? And I'm conflicted about that, right? Like I'm conflicted about that because for me, the F-bomb and cancer, they just contain so much energy that it's like, personally, instead of putting out F cancer, it would be the opposite of like, I would just be like, what a great life, what a great person. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather talk about the good things because if they pass, then yeah, that's done, right? It's final. And I know people blaming cancer for the thing, but at this point, there's nothing you can do about that. So let's focus on what they brought to the table, right? Like if it was Norm MacDonald and Sal and I just talked about this too, is that I wasn't necessarily a fan. Like I appreciated him, but I didn't watch Saturday Night Live. So I didn't see him on the
That's when
weekend
I
report.
first got into him, and he was the best late night guy on there.
Okay.
Like for the news, he was the best fake news delivery guy.
Okay. So I wasn't really into SNL like that. So I didn't watch him. And then when he came to town, I didn't necessarily go see him. I just kind of caught him here and there. And I knew his cadence and his timing. I thought he was funny for sure, but I wasn't into him the way a lot of the other comments that I see online right now who are posting their pictures and their tributes to him and things of that nature. But I would much rather, personally, I would just rather see, you know, the hashtag be something about what he did and who he was and what he brought to the table, and, you know, kind of what he created to some degree, or how he impacted people. More of the positive versus, you know, it's like Norm MacDonald, he's a legend, you know, too soon, fuck cancer. Like, it's just, it's so much anger, you know.
Well, I mean, okay, well, a couple things. I think one, you're right. I mean, you can do that route. Like when my brother died of cancer, I wasn't all like, fuck cancer. I might have said it once. I don't even remember. But I think people get fed up because, you know, cancer, it's just like it kills so many people, second biggest killer in this country. And so many people have experienced it and deal with it. And there's nothing really could do. And you see somebody go from, you know, this living great being until they just get torn down by this thing. And it's just like, I guess it just frustrates people to enough where it's like, fuck cancer. Like it, you know, I could see both ways, you know what I mean? And no, especially that one specifically. Now, if you're like, fuck the common cold and stuff like that, well, then you'd be like, all right, bro, take a break, relax. Guy.
No, I totally get it, right? And you're talking to the guy who lost a friend this year to pancreatic cancer, who I saw go from what you're describing as being a very full and vibrant, energetic, full of life person, and then whittled down to like literally skin and bones, right? At the end, he didn't have much. But the difference was, and we've talked about this, but the difference is that his appearance, right? His appearance looked good because he looked healthy. And then when he got sick, he looked sick, but his energy was still vibrant and full of life. So even though he didn't look like his previous self, energetically, he still did.
Well, that's cool.
Right. Yeah. Like
sometimes it's not like, I remember visiting my brother in a hospital and he wasn't in good spirits. You know, you get quick to anger, just annoyed, very right, you know, right. But dude, I can't imagine it. I cannot ever imagine it.
Neither one of us
can. Coming, and that would definitely piss me off at times. So I don't know.
Right.
I was gonna say what Matt was telling me, Matt Morales, and because we both worked with Norm, and it was kind of funny that the crowds, like as you were saying, like sometimes as I enjoyed hanging out with them off stage just as much, like them watching them, like off stage, I had a blast with them that week. And like, you know, we'd always go out to a bar, it was me, him, and he had Kevin Farley, Chris's brother, and he was just starting comedy. So he would rip on him and make fun of him for not being good at times and stuff. That's funny. He was like, that was one great long improv joke. So I mean, he would just go off on this dude. And then but funny. It was fun, and we'd get high the whole time. He was big into weed at the time, and then sometimes people would walk out the crowd. Like some people weren't into it. Shit was so dry. Defensive, but that was him. He would do whatever he wanted on any show. So some show would go killer, but then other shows like, I don't feel like doing that. I'm gonna do it this way now.
Yeah. Crazy. It's so crazy. Yeah, I've been hearing. You know, we were talking right before we started recording about, you know, I noticed that all the pictures that I've seen of everybody who's, you know, like Norm MacDonald, missing Norm was a legend. This one hurts, everything. I haven't seen any Black people with him in those pictures.
I'm going to look that up now. See if anybody,
yeah, please do. It's just that, and maybe I just know a bunch of white comics who work with him, and I don't know any Black comics or Black people who are comedians.
The thing is, though, I haven't. What if I? And no offense to it, would it pop up? I don't even know. But I mean, he is a dry comic from Canada. And, you know, let's be honest, a lot of times they still, like a lot of the first weeks I'd work, if they could put me with an Italian person, they would.
Right. There's always that alignment, right?
Yeah.
An Italian with another Italian and another Italian. A Black guy with a Black guy and another Black guy. A white guy with another white guy and a white guy, right? Like, or a Latin dude with another Latin dude and a Latin dude, which sucks, I think, in regards to the field of comedy, because it's like, come on, man, let's diversify the shows. Like, let's give everybody a little bit of something, right?
Right. I mean, hey, if you watch my shows every other Thursday here in Silver Lake, Los Angeles, there is pretty diverse lineup I try and put up there.
Hey, I give you credit, man. I look at it, I'm like,
it's not easy though, man, getting people, tall people. No, I'm talking all people, races, all genders, people, all sexual orientations.
No, I know. No, your shows look very diverse, man. They look like great shows, actually.
Yeah, they've been pretty good. All right. Well, I'm looking through. I just searched his name, and you're right. Pretty strong in the white community. And
But no, hey, no offense to him, no offense at all. It's just something that I
Norm.
noticed because I didn't see a lot of, people of color who were like, yo, this one hurts, and Norm, except for I did see Reese Waters, who I think we should have on the show. Reese is one of my favorites. He's a great dude. Reese Waters, and
the dude's
I
a
think,
Washington football team fan. He was talking about them this morning.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, that's a
and
tough team.
I think I saw, well, he's in DC, and I saw, I think Roy Wood Jr. said something, and Alonzo Bowden. The only thing Alonzo said was, R.I.P. to Norm MacDonald. I only met him once, but he was, he seemed like a nice guy. So, but personally, I didn't know much about Norm.
He did say something kind of funny. I remember we were before stage because he'd like to play basketball, and I would play basketball a little. And he's like, you ever record yourself playing basketball, like videotape it? He's like, you watch it later. He's like, you thought you were jumping so much higher than you were.
Yo, that's funny. That's pretty good.
So
Yo, real quick,
like he would have stuff like that off stage, and he was just killer off stage.
Dude, I watched his the roast of Bob Saget.
Yeah, don't ruin it for me. I gotta watch.
I'm just gonna say that it's super dry, and the comics. I'll put it like this: the audience was kind of like, what? Right? But the comics were rolling. I'm talking about you know what that means, right? Like when the comedians are dying, bent over, side hurting, face hurting from laughing, and the audience is sitting there like, I don't get it. Yeah, right. So yeah, we should watch that and talk about it, because that was it was so interesting. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it. Hey, so my buddy Monads entered the waiting room.
Okay, well, before you let him in, let's go ahead and set it up. Today, folks,
surprise guest. I haven't talked to this guy in years, and then he messaged me the other day because we had some sad happen. Well, he actually just messaged me out of the blue, and then something sad happened with someone back home, and so he hit me up, and now he's hitting me up on this. It's just so funny. I was just like, it's his birthday today too.
Okay.
And he goes, go pick up. I know you ain't doing anything. And I was like, I'm about to do this podcast. You want to just go talk on that?
Oh boy. Okay, so you guys know, you guys heard that part. Well, this is the other part, is that, like Sal said, this is a surprise guest, even a surprise to me, the co-host of Spitballin. No idea. So
I told you the second I found out. I found out 5 minutes before I set it up.
So needless to say, this should be interesting and fun. And
but you know Monad, right?
I do, but it's been a long time, dude.
Yeah, so
it's been a very long time.
He and I moved out to California together, and I could.
No, don't tell it now. Let's tell it.
I don't know if maybe you won't want to talk about all that.
Okay.
We'll see. He's got a kid now. He's all stoked about his 3-year-old boy.
Okay. Oh, that's funny. I got a story about that. But okay, let's go. Let's do it. All right, folks.
You want me to let him in?
Yeah, let's let him in. Let's let our guest in today. What's his first name?
Take a bit, Jason. But I always call him Monad.
I know. I was gonna say I can't say it. Monad.
That's his nickname. We'll have to tell him. And then we'd say all his brothers, like he had, Galen, Brad, Terry. So that's Bonad, Gonad, Tonad, a bunch of nads.
I remember that.
He's got a kid now named Silas, Sinad. I don't know.
Sinad.
I don't know if that works.
Ronad.
He had his little brother Ryan was Ronad. That one sounds cool. Ronad and Monad.
Ronad.
I was muted.
There he is, dude. He's the original Monad. Look at him with the beard.
Jason?
Looking good, buddy.
Hey, thanks.
You got a little. I think you got some powder on your chin there, dude.
He looks like a wise congressman of the Revolutionary period.
Well, I do taxes, and so yesterday was a big deadline. So I've been getting all bushy, and so I basically just slept in, and today's my birthday, and I was like, hey. I'm like, hey, Sal, I know you don't got a job. Text me back, man. Where are you at? Why are you ghosting me on my birthday?
Oh, hey, Jason, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Welcome to Spitballin', bro.
Sit down or something, dude. You're gonna make me throw up walking around.
Whoa, like I'm nervous because I'm worried. I haven't been. I haven't had I get nervous when I'm in front of huge audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all 40 of our
but don't
fans.
sit in front of the window. Don't sit in front
Yeah,
of the
you
window.
gotta have the
Then
light
back
on your
is-
face, not on your
Okay,
back.
okay.
There you go. There you go. Now
There you
sit
go,
your
right
ass
there.
down.
There you go. Hey,
Well,
it's
I
good.
feel like kindergarten over here. I'm like, okay, sit
There
in
you
the
go.
square.
Crisscross applesauce.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, it's good to see you, Jason. How you been, man?
Well, things have been good. Things have been good.
Okay. Well,
You know, life has been exciting. I've been writing jokes and texting them to Sal.
Oh, they're the
Trying to
worst
pick
jokes ever, bro.
nice.
Come on.
Where do
I'm
you
sure-
get them? From the internet?
No, I'm writing these jokes. I'm writing
You wrote
these jokes.
them?
So Sal, you
Yeah.
got a ghostwriter? Sal has a ghostwriter, you guys.
Oh, let's see.
Hey, Jason, real quick before you go on, happy birthday, man. How old are you today?
43. So I'm
Nice.
43. Yeah. So
Nice.
I
That's a
made
good
it.
number. That's a good number, man. 43. Congratulations.
Here's a joke he sent me.
Okay.
Why did the pirate get a subscription to Playboy?
Because he wanted the booty.
Oh,
Or
that's not
something.
bad, but he likes to read the articles.
Reg,
Okay, there you go.
you
like-
made a better joke than he likes
Well, I
the
was just,
booty.
pirates in their booty trying to collect their
Yeah.
treasure, the booty. So that was it. But that's good, man. The articles.
I got with my one of my best pirate jokes. You basically just rewrote. You made my pirate joke better very quickly. I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
So where you at, Nat? You still up near the Russian River?
Yeah, Sebastopol. So
Okay.
not, a little bit away from the river now, but
Oh, so you're not the same place as before.
yeah, Sebastopol is kind of like it's kind of like where the old hippies are.
Isn't they? Aren't they very tough there about who they let in the community in Sebastopol?
Well, I think you have to be old.
That's why
It
he's
seems
growing
like
that.
Average
Yeah.
age is 62.
Yeah, I'm bleaching. I'm bleaching this, just so I
That's funny. So
stand
Jason,
out.
what do you got planned for your birthday, dude? What are you gonna do for the big 4-3?
Well, I'm not doing anything. I decided, I really actually the only thing I really want for my birthday is just to, like, I feel like
Big booty
just
hug? I'm sorry.
someone to do the dishes. Just can someone just do the dishes for me today? So
That's awesome.
But
That's
for his
awesome.
birthday, he has a plan to just call his friends and tell them it's his birthday. So call me back.
Hey man, that's awesome, man. Somebody should acknowledge and recognize your birthday, bro. I appreciate it.
Cool,
So,
thanks. So I'm blessed. I'm blessed in life. So
Yeah,
That's
dude.
all.
Jason's a
So
good
Jason-
guy. We came out here together in California, buddy. This guy and I drove. First time I drove across the country was with this fella.
nice. And what
We
year
did
was
it in
that?
3 days.
what year? was it?
2000, December 2000.
December 2000.
And then we had to
December
get back
2000.
because Jason had a job, so we had to get over to California as fast as we could.
Oh, really?
we
What job was
flew
that?
in. The tech job in the Bay.
That was the first tech job.
Yeah,
boom,
first
dot
tech
com
boom before it was huge, before it crashed, before
Now I have to tell-
Facebook and all that.
I had to tell the kids about that. Like, you don't know what it was like in the .com boom. And then we were.
Oh, that's funny. That beard with that beard and the gray, it really sells that. You don't know what to
Dude, you need a top hat, bro. You could be in like a Christmas Carol remake.
Wow.
That's funny. So Jason, tell me, what was that first job, and then what happened after that?
Oh, well, that's when we were, I basically didn't know jack about like computers and stuff, but I was like, Sal had convinced me that moving to California was an important thing to do. And then I was like, okay, well, we should go to San Francisco because that's where all the people are doing all the computer stuff. And then
Plus, your sister used to live out there, so he said that town was cool, and I've never been. You've
Yeah,
been there before that?
I had been for like a week, and it kind of was the first place that I felt like I would be willing to like relocate for, to go live there. Even though it was crazy expensive and you couldn't get an apartment. I think we were sharing a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, we had to go to San Bruno to start
Oh,
because
wow.
we
And our
couldn't even get a
neighbor-
place in this city at first.
Our neighbor, we
Wow.
shared a wall with our neighbors, and they would bang so loud.
Oh,
Remember?
right. I forgot about that. Oh, right. They were
Wait,
like some
what?
crunchy granola folk, and
They
they
were-
were larger folks, so they'd make some noise when they would do it, and they would do it. And Jason had the bedroom. Like, I remember it was a 1-bedroom place, but I got like the little dining room area for my room, and I was like, you could have. He got the bedroom, but then his bedroom was right up against their bedroom, so he had to hear all the racket they would make. And then I know you were smoking at the time, and you go outside like, oh, I need a smoke, and then they would come outside too, all sweaty. I'm like, oh, time for a smoke.
You're like, so
Oh,
I
man.
felt a hand was about to bust right through the wall, like
Oh man, that's funny. You guys' story sounds like the Beverly Hillbilly story. He said Sal convinced me that California was the place I ought to be.
Yeah.
Back
Yeah,
to
man,
the
I don't
car.
know. I don't even know. I was just so sick of Ohio, and I was like, I don't like it here. I'm bored. I don't like it, and I don't know why. California, and then he said San Francisco because his sister, and then I was like, okay, that's the pot. And that was it. I will say, like, yeah, I did convince him, but then right before I did get a little cold feet because I was like, I have no job, no place to stay. We have no place to stay. He has a job, but it was like making 20 some thousand a year. It was not much money. So we had no idea what the hell. And he was like, well, look, Sal, I'm going. So if you're going, we got to go. I was like, all right, dude, let's do it.
Wow.
And I was glad. I think it was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life.
Dude, you talk about a leap of faith.
Oh, yeah. In 3 days, we're in another side. We're in a hotel, right in a hotel in San Bruno, trying to find a place to stay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a great origin story. The dude moved, you guys, you moved out here with no job, right? No place to stay.
I had like $1,500. I saved all the money I
Jeez.
had, and that was it, dude. And
he's got a job that pays,
Dick.
20,000 in the Bay Area. Holy cow, man. Okay. All right. So how long were you at that first job, Jason? How long did that, well, hold up, before you even get to that, how long did you guys live in the one bedroom?
Well, we lived in the hotel for like 3 days, and then we had the bedroom for like a year, I think.
Yeah, it was about a year, and then
Okay.
Sal got a job. He landed an awesome job selling photocopy machines.
Photocopiers.
Oh, that was your first job.
Dough. That was my first job, dude. After a month in the Bay, I found it. I interviewed a lot of places. I remember I went to this one interview for this food company, and I forget what they call. They stock all the food, but there was like 3 people were interviewed, right? And there's 2 openings, and these other 2 people, they had so much experience. It was like a 3-hour interview with 3 different people, and afterwards they're all talking to the people like, "Oh yeah, I love selling for Snyder Foods and this and that," and I'm just like, I got no chance. I just walked out.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but then I started selling copiers, and then a month, then like we lived there for like a year, and then we had our old buddy Joe came out, which Reggie and I have been calling him Racist Joe because the last time I talked to him, he's really against interracial dating, but he came out.
Somebody he liked
lived
once
with
ended up
us.
liking somebody black.
Yeah, because then Jason and I and Joe all lived together in a dope apartment in San Francisco where we had an ocean view, Golden Gate Bridge view, and
I remember that apartment.
but Joe kind of lost his mind a little after 9/11. Like, he could never find friends. I had comedy. Jason had work. Jason, was likable. He found people. And Joe, I don't know, dude. What happened to Joe, Jay?
Well, what happened to Joe was he fell in love with his he worked at an air conditioning place.
That's right,
and
HVAC.
he fell in love with the boss's daughter, who was engaged to be married to like Mr. Congeniality. And it was to try to tell him, it's like, dude, I know you love this girl, but it's just try to explain to him that that wasn't a good path forward.
Well, hold up, let me ask you this. He was in love with her. Did she like him? Like, did he just fall in love with a woman who?
Oh, they were friends. They were friends. He was in the friends camp.
Joe would fall in love with every girl. Any girl he worked with. And this is another thing. Like, he didn't do anything. So he met this girl through his HVAC job through the boss's daughter. Like, you know what I mean? That's such a limited perspective on, options.
So look, I'm just gonna throw this out here right now, right? Like, this sounds like the perfect movie script, right? You got some kid who works at a place or whatever. He falls in love with the boss's daughter. She's engaged to whatever. We'll make him some big, powerful guy who's supposed to be really influential, and he's handsome. He's got a square jaw, this whole thing. And this guy is like struggling and trying to make his way, but he's really nice and he's sweet. And they kind of make like they notice each other a little bit, but she's like, I can't do it. I'm supposed to be with him. And her family is like, this is the guy for you, because we're going to bring these two families together and make this big conglomerate family that's going to be super powerful. And he's the guy over here who's like the regular, average, everyday Joe who's busting his hump, trying to be a good dude. And some point, it's kind of like she's conflicted between having the nice guy and then having the rich guy. And she's about to go through with everything with the rich guy, but we got to have a montage of them like becoming friends. And she and the rich guy have a moment where they're kind of like on the outs, because she's starting to realize that he's kind of a dick. And then, you know, she's like, at the end, her family's like, this is what you got to do. And then right before she goes with him, she's like walking down the aisle. She's like, I can't do this. And then she throws a bouquet up, and then she runs to his arms, and the story's over. That's the
longest elevator pitch, Reg.
Dude. That's an American movie, dude. That is like
30 stories up is that elevator ride.
Okay, all I'm saying is all I'm saying is that is a made for America movie. The average Joe,
but it didn't work out for average Joe. He went back to Ohio and got all angry and Trumpy.
Okay, well, this is where the movie magic, right? This is where we change the story in the end. Okay, I'm just saying it's a great premise to start off. We can talk about it afterwards.
When was the last time you saw Joe, Mad?
Hey, somebody's got to call Otis. That's what I'm saying.
Otis, the elevator company. How when's the last time you saw Joe?
It's got to be like 5 years.
Wait, really? You saw him? Where did you see him?
Back in Ohio, like 5 or 6 years ago. So I go back to Ohio every now and then. But it's rough going back to Ohio for me. Right? It's a little rough. I always have like a little. Everybody wants to debate me about, you know, political issues and current events, and eventually you'll be like, hey, if you're just going to argue with me, I'm just going to go back home.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not here to argue.
They're like vampires, man. They're trying to bite you. They're trying to make you into one of them. I'm glad you leave.
What was Joe up to? I'm kind of curious, because I haven't seen him in like 10 years. And the last time, or maybe 8 years, and he came to a show of mine. And then he came up to the hotel afterwards. He took off his shirt and showed it to me. And it said "Go to Hell" on his back. He had it's like tattoo his whole back. It just looks like someone wrote it with a pencil, though. It doesn't look good at all. And then he was really angry, and that's where he was against interracial dating and shit. No, not prison. What?
That's a prison tat. That's what you said. Written with a pencil. That's what it sounds like.
It, dude. It was not a good tattoo.
So Jason, was he still racist?
Yeah. What happened?
I don't know. I think, it was a long time ago, and I don't know. I'm not gonna go on the record. I don't know what the deal is with him.
Where did you see him at? Would you meet him at a bar? No,
it was like I think maybe it was a football game. Maybe it was longer. It's hard. It's all a blur. So it's like 5 or 6 years ago. I hope that he's just in the environment though where. I don't know, where it's like, I don't know, Cleveland always was a little bit, it was always there, racism was there. You remember when we went to West Salem? We went out to West Salem.
This is one of the best, this motherfucker.
Yeah, the Cleveland restaurant.
Okay,
that's
where
the Lodi. It was Lodi, Ohio. And I wanted to go to, I don't know why. I was like, I want to go to these outlet stores. So we go to the outlet stores, me, Jason, and our other buddies, Filipino, Dave. And we go to the outlet stores. And then afterwards, I'm like, let's get some home cooking at one of these restaurants. So we stop at this little restaurant.
That's such an oxymoron, by the way. Home cooking at a restaurant.
Yeah. So we go in, and this waitress comes up. And she's like, oh, y'all city boys, huh? Like, where are you from? We're like, oh, the suburb, North Olmsted. Oh, that nothing happens over here. You guys are in the city. And she's like, we get some bored, nothing happens. And Jason goes, what about all that stuff I hear about the KKK?
That wasn't smart.
And then she just goes, well, true. we don't. And she just quieted it. And everyone kind of looked at us. And then she just walked away. And we're like, what the fuck, Dad? And our buddy who's Filipino was sweating, He's like, what the fuck did you do? You killed me.
Well, they were already there.
She came back and she told us like one of the Grand Wizards or whatever lived like a few blocks away. And yeah, people come there. And then she's trying to get us to go to a party. Like, when't you guys come back? We go party in the woods. We like to have parties in the woods. And I was like, I don't want to go party.
I was gonna say,
we were like, see you there. We'll see you there. Like, back.
Yeah. Hey, I'll put it like this. As a brown person in an area that's like infamous for having the Klan, there's no way I'm going into the woods at night, right? Like the fact that she invited you guys with your brown friend into the woods, it sounds like a setup.
He was not happy with Jason.
Hell no. It's like, well, I mean, but you can't be mad at Jason because he called it out. He called out what it really was. You said it was already there. He's
well,
like,
you call it out when we got the getaway car running and ready, not before we eat.
Now, I feel like this. I think it would have been bad if he would have been like, well, what's all that stuff I hear about the Ku Klux Klan or the KKK? And then the whole place goes silent. And then all you hear is the doors locking. You go, oh,
that's worse.
You're like, oh, it's about to hit the fan. So that's when you got to bust through.
They close the doors and they go, bring out the gimp.
Oh man. Okay. So Jason, let me ask you this. So after that first tech job where you didn't really know what you were doing, how long were you there? Because I'm trying to work to a point.
2 years.
This is what's awesome about Jason, dude. Jason got a degree in like business, then gets this job doing IT, something he taught about himself. Then this dude's like, I'm going to start a nut butter business. All right.
Well, that's what
I remember. Well, this is funny. I remember we were living together when he started this, and I was hosting at the Seabiscuit, and I started the Twisted Biscuit. And the very first competition, some of the prizes was his nut butters that he was trying as samples, and he was just giving out, and he'd have these sample tests. It was crazy.
See, Sal, you ruined it because I wanted to work.
No, let him get into it now. I was setting it up.
I would like to say that the Twisted Seabiscuit comedy competition was the best comedy competition ever.
Well, thank you, buddy. I was actually some guy who was writing a book about SF comedy and interviewed me about it this summer.
Wow.
And I'd always joke, I'm like, wow, that's what my obituary is going to say, known for the Twisted Biscuit. And that's it.
Here lies the creator, the original
of a 6-year comedy competition.
Yes, the Twisted Seabiscuit.
Probably writing a children's book.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, because he said he was 2 years at the tech company. And you're saying that he taught himself how to do that, whatever it was he was doing at that tech company.
Yeah, how'd you get into nut butter? Yeah.
Yeah. How did you? So what was the transition?
My friend, we went down to Venezuela in 2001.
Oh yeah, that's another cool thing I do with Nad. We went to Venezuela.
My Venezuelan friend, we had to get out of the city because there was a coup d'etat in the city.
In Caracas.
The jungle. But after that, my friend went to go work and was working in the food business and making websites for companies. And so then we decided that we would promote organic food, which was just becoming like a certification that was just coming out in 2002. So we're like, okay, this is cool. It's like no pesticides, clean foods and good for the environment, social benefits and stuff like that. So we started creating that. And then, but it was really like a homespun, like we were packing organic rice in like 1 pound bags and spices and nut butters. We also made nut butters and nuts and seeds. So and then I would get on my motorcycle and drive down and drop them off, at the FedEx place, and then what changed everything was the sponsorships of the Twisted Seabiscuit competition.
Dickhead. That was a good setup, dude, how he did that.
Nice. Nice. Dude, hey, Jason, that's pretty impressive, man, to have that foresight that early in the game as far as organic, right? Like organic and sustainable and healthy and no pesticides and environmentally friendly, socially friendly. I mean, that's huge, man. So would you guys come up with a name for the company?
We did. We named it Premier Organics. And that was, we sold lots of different things under that kind of like tag, we were writing newsletters, and I was writing newsletters and telling people about, organic food and whatnot, and why you should buy organic food. And And then we branded our nut butter line, like what we were making, our nut butters, which were just had a white label on them, prior. We branded those as Artisana. So it was like the brand and the creation was like creating like healthy food that was like minimally processed, but not, like most nutrition, minimally processed, but still, good nut butter, basically. And so that's our brand. Our brand is Artisana Nut Butters, and it's out there. It's in. I think
it's still
now
out there.
it's out there. Yeah, it's out there. It's in. We do a lot of different things. I think right now we have like it's a lot of hard work. It's been hard work for almost 2 decades, but and yeah, next year it'll be 20 years of food.
Wow, that's impressive.
That's crazy. So that's still what you're involved in now, right?
Yeah, that's basically what one of my things, and then I do a little bit of like tax stuff and finance stuff on the side.
So would you say that you're an accountant and a financial planner, or?
Yeah, mostly like food, like an accountant. Yeah, mostly like an accountant kind of finance person now, but with a lot of direct experience in the food business and technology stuff.
What's crazy about Monad too is like he learned all about the food thing. He learned how to set up a factory, his own factory, and these people making it, and like shit like I couldn't even fathom.
Dude, that's awesome, man. That's
he was so into it though.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to find out, because the other question I was going to ask you was, and we'll go back to the manufacturing and how that came about. But at the beginning, when you started making it, obviously the Twisted Sea Biscuit competition was a big sponsorship,
huge boost.
Where, they were giving it out as prizes. But did you have a point where you're like trying to go to, were they even called farmers markets then? What would they be called?
Yeah,
like mom and pop stores, or?
Yeah, it starts out, like farmers markets. Yeah, I used to do a lot of farmers markets, and you get customers kind of one at a time. Demos. You go to a grocery store and you set up a table in the store for 4 hours. That kind of thing.
Who would you talk to set that up? Like, how did that even come about? Happening, as far as, because were they carrying your products then, or was this about trying to introduce the product to them?
You introduce the product to them. So like one of our first accounts was Rainbow Grocery in San Francisco, and they're like one of the oldest, best co-ops, at least in the Bay Area. Mm-hmm. One of the first ones, and they have like a core, almost like they have a big SF following, and so they were the first retailer to actually take our brand in. And it was, and then it was like, well, the buyers asked us to come in and support the product by giving demos or coupons or whatever else we could do to help promote the product. Our almond butter or cashew butter or whatever it was we're making. So macadamia butter, we used to play and do. You guys did comedy writings way back in the day, and we'd have mac butter with honey and different things like that.
Oh, that's right. Who came up with the the recipes? Like, how'd you know how to make? I mean, I know it's pretty simple. You just crush nuts and put salt, but like, how would you do that?
Well, we'd experiment with it. I started the business with 2 other people, but you experiment and you mess around.
You would make it yourself, like how to smash it all, or you have to have certain kind of equipment?
Yeah, you have to get equipment, and then you're like, oh, maybe if we could do it like this, or maybe if it's kind of like too grainy and we want it to be this size, how do we make it less grainy? But that's all, trial and error, to keep trying. And then but yeah, so it's a lot, and I remember I was living I feel like I was homeless for a couple of years there, just moving in. Valet parking cars. I don't know who I was valet parking cars with. And, working, doing that and doing manufacturing and working two jobs to make it happen. Just it's kind of like comedy in that sense. Just like you gotta hustle.
Yeah, you gotta have something else to
like Modan and I, we both always had our hands in so many different fires. That was the thing, because that's how it is.
Yeah, it's like you have to have something else that supports your life while you pursue your passion or your dream. Right.
Yeah, well, at least until I think if we started like in 2002 or basically 2003, I think the first time I was actually to take a small salary from the company was 07, I think 2006 or 2007.
Like 4 or 5 years of like grinding, creating, going to stores, doing demos, getting it on the shelves, and then having to pay us. Like, you didn't make a profit.
You had to pay other people.
You had to pay other people. So you didn't make a profit till about 5 years in, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like maybe four
4 years. Dude, I think this is a great story, dude. This is a great story of like hard work and determination and what it takes. Like,
yeah, I mean,
being homeless. Jeez, you and Sal, you guys love not having a place to live.
Yo, man, so Cleveland was tough. We'll take homelessness over going back home.
Yo, I don't know if there's a bigger testament to what Ohio's like. It's like be homeless or go back to Ohio. That homelessness looks real good right now. Begging for food, living on the street, not having shelter. No security, no safety.
Food. We'll make our own food.
Exactly. It's like, I'll take that. Give me some nuts. Give me some nuts. I'll smash them.
I'll have you laughing, even if we're broke. Tell jokes. You make nuts.
The Trader Joe's dumpster on Thursday nights is the best place because that's when they throw out all the cheese.
Man, you gotta take dumpster dive into another level, man.
Oh, that's funny,
so,
dude.
Man, that's great, Jason. And so the company's still going. What's the name of the company right now?
Well, the name of our brand's Artisana. Artisana Organic Foods, and yeah, it's a good. I guess it's. I want to say.
So Artisana is the name of the company. It's not. Wasn't it Premium Organics or something like that?
Oh, Premier Organics.
Premier Organics.
Kind of technically the name of the company, but most people don't know us by that.
Okay. Are you guys in Whole Foods?
It's just Whole Foods, Vitamin Cottage.
You know what? Hold up. I think I may have.
You have some in the house, Reg?
I think so. Hold on one second.
Go check if you got some in the house. That'd be awesome. Reggie loves the Whole Foods, man. He's got that boat money.
The boat money. Reg is still doing the maritime? Is he still in the maritime?
Yeah. The maritime. Here he comes now, Mr. Maritime.
Dang, man. I thought it was. What it is I have organic Maranatha.
Oh, man. Oh, don't do that.
That's a competition, Reg. Throw that shit in the garbage.
Well, did I know? Did I know? Well, now that I know, when I go to the store again, when I go to Whole Foods, I will, because listen, I buy organic. So the price, yes, it's obviously exponentially higher than the conventional brand, but it's so worth it because it's so good. I know that it's healthy. So I'll be doing the Artisana.
Here, Reg. Let me help out. Okay. Send me your address and I'll send you some nut butters because we got to fix you up, man.
Oh. Hey, wait a minute. I'll send my address Jason, too. I like it.
Jason, I got you, bro. I got you. I will send it to you, man. Dude, thank you. Thank you. I'm telling you right now.
Make him go to the store.
Yo, Sal, dude, we just found our first sponsor.
Oh,
he doesn't have to sponsor us, but we'll advertise. We can advertise
Artisana, man.
Artisana.
Send us a logo. We'll put it up in the
level.
Thing. Yeah, yes. This would take another. Now you're repaying us after the Twisted Biscuit brought so much love to Premier Organics. Now,
yeah, man. Wow, that's cool, Jason. All right, I'll shoot you that information, man. I'm really excited to try it because I remember way back in the day when you guys were living in San Francisco. And it was just starting. Like I remember seeing jars and the labels and the whole thing. And at that time, I think the one that I remember the most was the cashew butter. I don't know.
It was good. Cashew butter was really good.
Yeah, it was good. That's a good one. What's your most popular product? What's the one that just flies off the shelf?
It's gotta be almond butter.
Cashew butter. Wow. I think it's probably the number one.
Okay. Well, I'll take both of them. Or I'll try
Look at
macadamia
you
butter
put it in
too.
your menu and you put it in
I'm
your
just
order.
saying, look, I want to try like almond butter, cashew butter, macadamia butter. You guys do sunflower seed butter? I'll do that one too. You guys do how come there's no walnut butter? Like
Hey,
walnuts?
we gotta put you in R&D, Reg. You could be up here.
Dude, I would love to be in research and development.
Making all the play.
Dude, don't offer me a job over here because I'm gonna hold you to it.
I don't know if we're gonna pull you away from. You're a man of the sea, Reg. You're a man.
And you see the ocean behind me, which is funny because I'm so
man
not
of the sea.
I'm so not the man of the sea. I swear to you, like I love the ocean though. I do love it.
He's our little Popeye.
All right, guys. I'm gonna jump off. I got my lady hollering at me.
Wait, before you go, you got to tell the origin story of Monad, because I call you that all the time, and I always forget to call you Jason for others, and it's such a great nickname. And you seem to have welcomed it.
I think it was a joke, just a running joke. Like my girlfriend's texting me and says, Jason, if you ever decide to run for political office, this is going to come to bite you in the ass. I'm like, I don't think we've crossed any red lines here.
No, and I'll edit out all the hot stuff. Were you running for office, dude? You should go back to Ohio and run, dude. We need you.
Yeah, I like that look.
That's a heavy price to pay. That's a big price to pay.
The closest thing that you could have come to saying anything controversial would have been about your boy and what's his name, the racist. Joe, and you didn't. You played it. You played it cool.
You played it cool because he needs those votes too.
Exactly. You did not say anything controversial.
And I would like to retract my last comment. Ohio. I would go back to Ohio if the requirement was there for me to serve for my public dude. That's my political.
There you go. Your public service, right?
Yeah.
To serve your community, to help improve and bring in a new light to a different way of thinking, right? Because, I don't think I've ever been to Ohio. Maybe I have once, but it doesn't matter. But okay.
So wait, you're not going to tell the story of Monad real quick?
No, I know. That we have to save that for another day, maybe for another episode. What episode of Spitballin is this? What number? This is
number 25.
25.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
we're getting up there. We had a pretty good artist a couple weeks ago, a street artist from Lebanon, called in from Norway.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah, he designed the swatch I have. That's how I found out about him.
Yeah. You talk about political. My man was not afraid to state his beliefs and his feelings about the corruption of the government in Lebanon. It's like, and I commend him for that. Hey, Jason, you can inform your partner or your lady, your girlfriend, whoever, that you did not say anything controversial. There's nothing here that will prevent you from running for office one day.
Right.
Thanks for sharing your story about your business, man. It's really cool to hear the origin of it and everything that you went through to build it up, and your passion project. And I'm glad to hear that it's still going, man. And Sal can send you my address because I'll be looking forward to.
All right.
Y'all on Facebook, y'all handled it. All right, Nad, take care.
Okay. Take care, brother. Thanks for coming out, dude.
Thanks.
Man, there he goes. He had to go, man. That's
nice. Man, that was a struggle. I had to keep it on. I'm like, I got to get some out of this, because if not, it's going to turn into a conversation between you and your friend. People are like, are we listening to a phone call right now? Like, what the hell's going on?
Kills me.
But I knew he had his business, and I wanted to really.
I wanted to bring up, well, the board of directors kicked him out for some time. So he was like CEO, and he got kicked out by his own people. And then they had to pay him off or something. And then they brought him back a couple years later.
Hold up, though. Weren't you the one talking about, was it McDonald's? What company was it? It was, they opened up.
Oh, yeah. McDonald's and the founder. Ray
founder, the guy who created the thing.
No, that was, I'm kind of curious. Like,
that's a scandal.
I would have been super pissed, because the way the board of directors works is you have to have a majority, right? I think there was like 3 of them or something.
Okay.
And so he never had the majority, but then his buddy who went with us to Venezuela was the guy who finally turned.
Put him over the top.
Yeah. And then but then he's back, everybody's cool again, so who knows what the drama was.
See, I mean, I'm sure he probably didn't want to go into that, but
dude, not if he's trying to run for office one day. It sounds like it.
I mean, yeah, the way she's like, this is gonna come back and bite you in the butt. Like, what?
She's like, I want to be a first lady of something, and you ruin it.
I want to be the first assemblywoman, right? The first lady assemblywoman, or what is it, alderman? Like, it's gonna be,
Yeah.
you know. But wow, man, that's so interesting, man. That he didn't turn a profit for the first 4 years. There's a point where he's homeless.
He had like an RV that he would stay in, and like, because he was living up near the Russian River, but then he would drive all the way to Oakland or wherever where the factory was and work, and then he would just stay there overnight in his little RV, and then on the weekends go back home.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've heard
dude,
that.
he's definitely a dedicated man to that business.
I've heard that. I heard that story on a number of times, like for people on the waterfront, people who work in San Francisco on the waterfront, but live in, you know, Auburn up past Sacramento, right? Or even further than that, who are like, you know, I'm not going to drive home every night because I got to be back to work the next morning. So they get some type of little, you know, Winnebago or something, or a little RV or whatever it is, like some little van, and straight up come down here, sleep in their van. Like there's no way there, and like shower on the pier. I'm telling you right now, if I had a job where I had to go stay overnight, like weekly on a street, like live in my van down by the river. Who am I, Chris Farley? Like, no.
Hey man, when I was in Canada, I worked with I met a lot of guys up there in Alberta. There's oil's big, and they'll go work in the oil fields. But what they do is like you go up there for like weeks, months, or I want to say it's like a week on, week off or something. You do a couple weeks, but they have a whole like you stay there, you got your own beds and everything. And it's a
well, see, that's different though. It sounds like they got dorms, so they have housing. This isn't you sleeping in you're not sleeping in a van where you got a plug. You know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to
but hey man,
energy from a building or something.
I think that's better than having to make a fucking 2-hour commute each way every day.
Well, absolutely. That's why I'm saying you just got to get a job closer to home.
Right.
I think it was funny too that you guys were like, when it came down between being homeless or going back to Ohio, I'll take the streets any day of the week.
We were not going back, dude.
My man, yo, he threw out Trader Joe's dumpster on Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, man, that was the thing, man. Nat and I, we just we figured out a way to make it work. And
that's cool, man. That's cool.
Yeah, it was funny, like, because there was no one else I could have convinced from Ohio to come.
Right.
You know, and he had a girlfriend at the time too, and she wasn't.
Oh, he left her behind, huh?
Yeah, she's like, you know how it feels. I have to tell my friends that my boyfriend left with another guy to San Francisco.
That's awesome.
Yo, man,
that's awesome.
It was like a whole new world.
That's awesome. How it feels to tell my friends my boyfriend left with another man to San Francisco.
Dude, and when I was working in a lab at the time, and I told people I'm moving to San Francisco, like, I didn't know Sal was gay. Like, that was the first fucking thing they thought of. And these are educated people in a job of mine in Ohio. Educated in the fact they got a degree somehow. But yeah, so it's just people are quick to
judge, jump to conclusions.
Yeah. But
so speaking of judgments and conclusions, it's something we got to wrap it up soon, but let's throw this out here real quick. So there was this recall in California.
Yeah.
People want to get rid of Gavin Newsom because he, a lot of people, I guess it was his handling of the pandemic. The desire to wear masks and stay indoors and be safe. People were like, he's no good. We got to get rid of him. We want to get a black racist like Larry Elder. This dude is a black dude. I don't know how I put like this: a black dude who said that white slave owners deserve reparations for the property they lost during the Civil War. Understand me. Don't get it twisted. Read between the lines. The property he's talking about is not land, even though he's given the impression that it's land. He's talking about the property of their people. That
his own ancestors.
His own ancestors. What I'm saying is that a black dude who can say that, for one, I can't imagine any black person supporting him. And two, I don't even know how white people could support a black dude who would go against his own people. Like you can't trust that dude at all. Right? Like you can't
Right.
believe anything he says. He's a conservative radio host. There's nothing about what he does that says that he could be governor of California, and California is like the third largest economy like in the world or something crazy.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, there's a couple things about, I think the recall thing needs to change for one thing.
Absolutely.
Because like so basically it's just a bunch of upset people who had to wear masks, a bunch of Trumpers who try to get this thing going. And in California, because it would have sucked if if Gavin didn't get the majority, if he didn't have over 50% of people say no, the next person with the most votes would get it, which would have been Elder, who would only have like 20%, but he could still win the governorship. Wow. You know,
because the existing let's make that clear. The existing governor, Gavin Newsom, if he did not get over 50% of the voters to say no. So if he got 49%,
and Elder had 20%,
and Elder had 20, which is significantly less, he would have won the governorship, which is crazy. That needs to change.
Insane. So another thing, so the recall only happened once, of course, and that was in early 2000s when Arnold ran against Gray Davis. Now, two things. Gray Davis was catching heat because there were so many rolling blackouts at the time. And then you got a superstar celebrity who's not the most conservative for Republicans, you know what I mean? He's not like Larry Elder wacky,
right? He's not far right,
especially at that time. And now it's a whole nother world. But and also to get to the proper amount of signatures to get that, usually it's almost impossible to get that many signatures in that amount of time, but they doubled the time it was possible this time because of COVID. So it was easier for them to get this. But this costs what, $250 million, and it was a waste of money.
I was gonna say 260, but
and he's gonna run again. He has to run again next year. But my one thing of hope is that you get more and more candidates who are going to welcome this idiocy, extreme Trumpism, that the election's a lie and all this bullshit about COVID, they say. And you hope that they're so extreme that, like in California, people are like, well, okay, you're going to get like that small percentage of your little base, but the majority of people aren't going to go that. You're not going to get independent voters. You're not going to get conservatives who aren't, idiots. You're not
gonna get conservatives who are educated.
Right. So like so that's the thing. So like, because he got killed, Larry Elder got destroyed in this election, and so now Georgia, Herschel Walker, another guy, he's kind of extreme, and it's so whacked. He's like, we gotta get the black Republican, the one guy, and then he's fucking out of his mind on stuff. You know what I mean?
The good thing about that is that black people will not follow.
They won't fall for it. And
they won't fall for it. They will.
They'll call them quick.
and that's an insult. It's an insult from the Republican Party to think, oh, we can just throw up any old black dude and they'll follow him. No, that is not true. I mean, I know that they think that we're like a monolithic society. We're all one. Like whatever one does, the other will do. Not when it comes to dumb black people, because one thing black people is not done is we are not following stupidity, right? Like. We like Herschel Walker, you were a great football player and you did 100 push-ups a day. That was awesome, but you don't know jack shit about politics. So you need to sit your ass down. Right? So it's like,
like he just registered for Georgia like the last month to say that he lives there now. Like it's all bullshit. It's just such an attack on democracy, and it's sad, man.
It is sad. You know what's funny too is that I heard it was yesterday on NPR. I heard Larry Elder, at the end of this whole thing when he lost. He said, well, this is probably the best thing he's ever said. He said, let's be gracious in defeat, right?
Yeah, and
the people were booing, and they were like, boo. Really? The dude is speaking. The one thing of common sense that he says is be gracious in defeat, and his own crowd boos him because they want to push that narrative of, was it fraud, right? Like, so now it's turning to this thing that is like, if I don't win, it's because you cheated.
Right. It's just an attack on American democracy. That is the exact point of America. And you support people who can't even admit, Trump can't even admit he lost an election. You're going to support somebody that's anti-American as all hell. That's the whole point of a democracy, man.
Yeah, that's straight ego.
It's disgusting, dude.
Well, hold up, though.
I can't believe that it's fooled this many people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it just goes to show where people's heads are. But let's
But
take it a
here's
step
another
further.
thing, though. Look, he's never won. Trump has never been able to win the majority of votes in this country on either election. So it's kind of like, and it's just going to get tougher for him as
Yeah,
time goes on. And it's
yeah,
kind of like, go ahead, keep accepting extremism. Thankfully, the last election, we shit that shit out. And
yeah.
hopefully you don't let it back in, because DeSantis in Florida, Abbott in Texas, these idiots on the Supreme Court,
Right.
it's still there, man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You mentioned his name. I don't like saying his name because it's like saying Voldemort or
Nah.
Candyman or Bloody Mary. Or even Beetlejuice. It's like you say it, I feel like if you say it too many times, bad things happen. But this dude will not go away. Like he is legitimately sitting in the wings, waiting to
But
to
honestly, I
pounce.
still think it's not a bad thing, because I think there's no chance he's going to have. I mean, Biden will have to really mess up, but I don't think people are going to want him back. And I think that much extremism, he can't get a majority of people on his side.
Right, right. So Biden's not gonna run again, right? So that means that the Democratic
That's
Party
not
has
for
to find.
sure. I think he is. He says he is.
Really? He says he's gonna try to. I mean, what
Yeah.
he's just a year. He's just a little over a year into his presidency. He's got
Yeah.
3 more years.
He'll run in 4 years, in three
Dude,
years.
but he'll be 81.
They don't give a shit. What he needs to do is get some younger people on the Supreme Court. That old guy who's on the Supreme Court's got to get out, so he could get another liberal in.
And listen to you. The only way you can get a Supreme Court justice out is they have to die.
No, well, or they could resign.
Or they
They
can
could
resign.
resign.
Okay.
And
I
see,
was
that was
like,
the thing. A lot of people were upset that Ruth Bader Ginsburg could have resigned during Obama's presidency, and then he could have picked someone else. She didn't. She died before, and they squeezed in another one. So he
yeah, they
was able to
squeezed in
get
another
three
one.
justices on three justices in 4 years. One, because they wouldn't let Obama's go.
Garland, right.
And then the last one, because the rules don't apply to them. Oh, okay, now our guy could get in, our girl could get in, even though it was crazy. It was like,
Dude.
it makes me so upset, because they waited 8 months for a Supreme Court justice during Obama's, and then they got what's her name in like a month, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They tried to shove Barrett in
What's her name? Not Kavanaugh was one
Barrett.
guy. Amy
Barrett,
Cole.
yeah. It's just like, it's so disgusting the way McConnell and them will play it, and it's all about power. It's whatever you can do with the power.
Dude, it's
don't
all
try
power.
and be nice. Just try and fuck over the other party as much as possible.
Yeah. It's and it's funny that not funny, but it's like I don't understand how they let him get away with it, right? But I guess it's just they're able to do it because they're like, we won't vote. We refuse to vote. We won't show up.
If you have the numbers, you have the numbers.
Yeah.
And that's all they care about, man. They don't care about the people. They don't care. It's gotten worse and worse. The Republican Party, and I hope it just eventually kills them. Like they're gonna ruin themselves by going to these extreme candidates that people can't relate to.
Yeah, we'll see. Because if you get rid of one thing, then that void is filled with something else. Yeah, and it can be even worse. I mean,
the teabag.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Tea Party showed up at one part.
Then,
what I was gonna say was I remember when Kavanaugh was being vetted, right? Yeah. And then the lady came out and said that she had an incident. There was a time with him and things happened. And I have a couple friends that live in it doesn't matter. They're in the Pacific Northwest. I'll just say that. And I don't usually talk politics with them. They're older white people. And it came up during that time. It came up. And this is the first time that I ever got some insight into potentially their political views. Now, the husband didn't say anything, but the wife was kind of like, I just don't, this is what she said. This is what she said. She goes, these were things that happened in college. It was a long time ago. And, I just don't think that he should be judged on those things now. Right. And she goes, everyone makes mistakes. Like I remember one time where, I was hanging out with some friends and I had 1 or 2 beers and I drove and I shouldn't have. And so that was a time that I did something that I shouldn't have done. And it was a mistake and I didn't do it again. And I was sitting there like, you're actually trying, as a woman, you're trying to defend a man who's been accused of sexually assaulting another woman, right? And then I looked at the comparison of like you potentially driving after having a beer or 2 is nowhere near the same level of someone having their humanity stripped from them, right?
Right.
Being assaulted, sexually assaulted. So then I said, okay, you know what? I can't even delve into that. I said, well, how about this? I said, look, I'm not even upset that they want to get a conservative justice in. I'm just saying, can we find somebody who doesn't have a potential rape in his past, right? Like, I'm sure that there's somebody else who's qualified for this position who doesn't have a potential rape,
Yeah.
on his like on his rap sheet. It's like, come on, man. But
I hate when people,
that's the mentality, dude. Like, there are
the
people
problem
out
with
there,
that mentality is the comparisons. They always try and compare
they
stuff.
try
That
to
doesn't
compare stuff.
It's apples and oranges. There's like, even like people are like, my body, my choice with the vaccine. Oh wait, but that doesn't apply to women, right?
women's rights,
and that doesn't even make
choices.
sense, because if a woman got an abortion, she can't give another person an abortion. You
Exactly.
can't, it's not contagious.
It's not contagious.
It
It's
doesn't
so not
make any
contagious.
sense. It's just, oh, dude.
And the people who are making these decisions for people, it's always somebody, like, it's always men. Let's just be honest. It's always men trying to govern women's bodies. I'm like, dude, you don't have a period. You can't get pregnant. You don't have to go through childbirth, right? You don't have to do, like, women die during childbirth. If you get sexually assaulted, you can't get pregnant, right?
Right.
So it's like the idea that men try to make decisions to govern women's bodies is crazy. And they always use a religion as a scapegoat, as a reason why they're trying to do whatever. Dude, it's so, I can't, like, Texas right now, I think everybody should move out of Texas. If you have any common sense, it's like, move out of Texas. If they want to stay there and deal with what the people who want to stay in that bullshit, then they can stay there and deal with it and live under that type of patriarchy. But anybody else, I'm like, that joint is turning into what's that show? Shucks, the show on Hulu.
Oh, you're talking about
The Handmaid's Tale.
The Handmaid's Tale, yeah.
Dude. Have you seen that?
Man. Yeah, I watched some. I watched some. I didn't watch, I haven't gotten super into it. It's too crazy.
Dude, you gotta watch the whole thing.
Nah.
You gotta watch the whole thing. Like, the idea. I mean, that joint, they turn back the hands of time. Women can't read, they can't learn.
Yeah, it's like the Taliban, dude.
Dude,
you take the power away from the women, and it's sad, man.
Texas, bro.
I would say, like, if you're against abortion, then don't get one. That's
what I was gonna say.
You can't take other people's
dude.
rights
That is
away,
I agree. You can't take away people's rights to govern their own bodies, especially in regards to that, women's bodies. And I say the same thing. I'm like, look, I get it. You have strong feelings about abortion and the potential for an abortion and whatever the case may be. So in the event that you get pregnant by mistake because you're young and things happen and whatever the case may be, or you're old and whatever, don't get one. That's it. Don't get one. You go, I'm pregnant and I don't really know the baby daddy that well because we were drinking at the bar and we kind of got going, but I have strong religious beliefs, even though I was fucking when I was fornicating, I've sinned. And so I don't believe in abortion. So I'm gonna keep this baby by a man that I don't really know that well. Fine. Right? Fine. Do that. That's your right. Now, the other side, where someone's like, hey, look, I was young and it was a mistake. We were having a good time and things happen. And I'm not in a position to raise another person. I barely know anything myself. I'm still in school. I don't have any money. I don't want to, I still have a future. And so right now, it's not the right time for me to have a kid, right? It's not the right time. And so I would like to change that status.
Right.
Fine. You have that right.
Right. I like to change that status and work on my pull-out method.
And work on my or basically you're gonna have to strap it up, or I gotta get some what is it called? Spermicide.
The numbing stuff.
It's like you gotta get the condom and you gotta get the spermicide, which kills the sperm.
Oh, right.
You gotta use the pull-out, you gotta use all three of them. You gotta use the pull-out method. It's like put on a condom with spermicide and the pull-out method. That's exactly what I have to do. Right. And then other people go, well, then how about you just don't have sex? And you go, come on, man. You're 18, you're 19, you're 20 years old. Like, you're in your prime for that joint, as far as, like,
your body's telling you to.
Your body's telling you. So
it's human nature.
Exactly. So now I'm supposed to not do what comes natural to me.
Right.
Well, if you had strong religious beliefs,
If you believe the guy on the cloud, then you'll not do it. All right, sign us out, Reg.
All right. All right. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in to Spitballin. We've had a great time. I hope you've enjoyed it. We appreciate you guys listening and watching. That's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin. Peace.